Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I am Anna and I'm a little bit spooky, and it is time for coffee and makeup. Grab your coffee and let's get into this. Okay, so today we are playing with a full face of new products. I have concealer, foundation, powder, primer, new eyeshadow, new lip product, a little bit of everything, and we're just gonna go through, do a little bit of first impressions, chit chat about them, catch up on life, basically all the things we do in our coffee and makeup videos. But today we're focusing a little bit more on the makeup, a little bit less on life, because life kind of sucks right now. So let's just talk about makeup because it makes me feel better. And yeah, we're just gonna drink our coffee and hang out, and I'll show you how I got this look. So let's go ahead and get into the makeup. We got our coffee today in a new mug. I found this one at the Starbucks the other day when we were out shopping. The Starbucks in the mall was open, so I had to stop in there. And they had these beautiful gold mugs. I also got a black one with like a honeycomb print on it. You know I had to have them. But anyway, we're just drinking some plain old coffee today. Made my new French press, which I'm really tickled about. I also got a little milk frother, so I am just my own little barista right now. So that's pretty awesome because I'm always trying to make my own fancy coffees at home, and they never quite taste like going to a coffee shop, but I try. Anyway, today I wanted to play with a full face. Just about a full face of new products and a couple old favorites just to fill in the gaps what I don't have. I already got my brows on, eyes primed and all that, but I did a little shopping lately and got some new stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and start on the eyes. I have the Milani Salt and Pepper palette. This is the Hot, Cool, and Vicious one, which is the more warm tone one like this. A little more neutrals in it, but they're fun neutrals. They're not just run-of-the-mill. I seriously almost got the other one too. I looked at it, I held it in my hand at Ulta, and I put it down. I was like, girl, you don't need it. You got palettes that look just like that. And let's see, we got a new contour product, we got a new foundation, we got a new primer, we have got a new powder, a new concealer, we even got a new nail polish on, a new mascara primer, and a new eyeliner. So yeah, let's just go ahead and get started and start playing and chit chat. I'm gonna start with my brow bone as usual. I'm gonna take the lightest shade from this palette right here. The shade names are on the back and it's really confusing trying to find what correlates with them. So we're just gonna jump into this bone shade right here and we're gonna take it over the brow. But this has just a very subtle sheen to it. The mattes in this palette do. I have used this palette before, and I have some more videos coming about it. So how have you guys been doing? I know things are really weird right now. We've got a pandemic, we've got a social movement revolution happening, which is a long time coming. Things are very different. Personally, things have been kind of weird over here too. My dad's in the hospital right now. He's getting a defibrillator installed tomorrow morning because he started having some issues with an arrhythmia, which he's had previously and already had surgeries for. And of course, it decides to pop up in the middle of chemo. So he's going through that as well. Okay, let's take a nice transition shade. I think I'm gonna go with kind of warm brown right here and run that through the transition area. So that's what's going on around here. We went and visited my husband's family over the weekend. I was out of town when I found out my dad was in the hospital because he didn't call and tell me because it was kind of an emergency all of a sudden. He has a heart monitor thing in his heart or chest that reads his rhythms because of this arrhythmia. The readings were all bizarre and crazy, and he had like this 20-minute episode where his heart wasn't beating properly and like stopped beating for a little bit. Anyway, the doctor called him in the morning and was like, yeah, come in my office like right now. So he did, and they're like, yeah, you're not going anywhere, bud. So they sent him straight to the emergency room to get admitted. So he's been in there. He should be getting out Thursday after the defib's installed. They were going to install that like 2 years ago, and they just thought maybe they fixed the problem and put the monitor in instead. I think they should have put the defibrillator and pacemaker in originally like they planned, but I'm not a doctor. Anyway, we had a pretty good weekend in Lake Charles. We go down there ever so often, but we don't usually get to go into town and like go shopping. It's my husband's family actually lives about an hour out in the country in like the middle of nowhere, so there's really nowhere to shop or do anything. And we usually bring Pumpkin along and we just make it a family weekend type of thing and just stay in and cook and that sort of stuff. This time we left Pumpkin with my sister and decided to take a trip to the mall. They have a lovely mall there, like thriving. They have every store, everything you need in that mall. So I hit up Torrid and did some clothes shopping because I was in desperate need of some new jeans I like the ones I got at Target, but they're more like dressy. They're not like everyday jeans. And I wanted just some like the ones that I had before that I ruined with some decoupage. And I've had those jeans for 5 years now, and they have held up so well that I was like, tour jeans are worth the investment to me. I mean, they're $80 regular price, but they had buy one get two free on their clearance. So I got 2 pairs of jeans and like 8 shirts, including this one that I'm wearing. How 90s is this, right? I had a shirt like this when I was probably in 1st or 2nd grade, like in the 90s. So I'm excited about this little top. But I got some really cute like dress tops and stuff that I've just needed. Some new clothes. Honestly, I haven't bought like new clothes in forever. I usually just buy makeup. So it was nice to get to do that. And I also got some new Nikes yesterday. The quality of these shadows is so good. And I saw Milani has a new palette coming out that's like all jewel tone stuff. Like, I'm gonna need it, and I need all of Milani's palettes. I almost bought one yesterday, and I talked myself out of it. The one that's like nudie purples and stuff, and mauves. I can't remember which one it was. It's one of the gilded palettes. Girl, you don't need it. You don't need it. I'm gonna switch to a little bit of a smaller brush, and I'm gonna take this deeper reddy brown right here, and I'm gonna bring that lower into the transition. This is such a nice, like, everyday palette. Oh, and I also went to Hobby Lobby. I've got this on one side of the brush, by the way, and it's flipped up to blend upward into my transition crease. Hobby Lobby had a pretty good sale going on, so I bought me a leather kit, or a set of leather tools for work, and it comes with some projects. So, get a little learning in there. But yeah, I've been sitting here like procrastinating filming. I was waiting for my battery to charge, this and that, do my nails, because I'm so sucked into the show Hannibal, and I can't stop watching it. I'm like, girl, you need to get a video done, because you're running out of stuff to post. Like, I have a bunch of tutorials done, but I don't have like any other content. So I need to like either go edit or film something. So we're just gonna film coffee makeup today, and I got a agenda full of videos to film tomorrow because my day's off. Shade right here, this is kind of watermelon. It's like watermelon but brown at the same time. I'm gonna take that, or maybe a deep peach, and I'm just gonna kind of bring that in between the 2 shades on a fluffier brush. And of course, as soon as I turn the camera on, somebody decides to mow. Isn't that always like the case? It's like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Who's mowing? It's too hot. Girl, summer's in full effect here. Hot and yucky. Humid. It's been very humid and hot. I'm gonna take the smaller brush and go in with the deepest brown right here. This outer corner. Depth in there. Oh, that's nice. This palette is so effortless. Like, this is high-end quality. I was looking for some of those little bite-sized elf palettes. They are sold out everywhere. And I want to get J Kiss's palette. And let's see, there was another palette I was looking for. Oh, the new NYX Utopia palette. Oh my god, it's so pretty. And I really, really want it. When I went into the local Ulta in Lake Charles, they were like, they had a lot of stuff. They just had nothing new because they haven't gotten a truck in months. So, and they've been closed. So it was just like older launches. Like, the newest thing they had was the salt and pepper stuff. Their store is so crowded. Like, you can barely walk around in that one. People are constantly in the way. There's no way to social distance in that store. It was driving me crazy. Because every time I tried to go down the aisle, there was some dumbass just standing there. Just, huh? What? And then, like, it was like a boyfriend or husband following their girlfriend around or whatever, and just in the way. But yeah, anyway, we went to the mall that we brought my mother-in-law. And that was one of the first times like we've had like a day like to just go shopping, just me, her, and my husband. And it was really nice. She got her 2 new shirts at Torrid. She liked Torrid. That was a nice day, and you know, got her coffee. We all got lunch at Outback, and you know, hit up Hobby Lobby and Harbor Freight, which is so exciting. It's a tool store. But I had to get some special scissors from there for work, and I had to get zippers from Hobby Lobby. I think we took that little bit of weird deep watermelon shade. But yeah, that's what we've been up to lately. Just shopping. All the stores have like all these crazy good sales because of being closed. Okay, so now I'm gonna take this metallic kind of rusty red color right here. I'm gonna put that on the lid. I think I'm gonna just do it with my finger. These apply really well with finger. I don't think I've used this one on the lid yet. Wow. Wow. Oh, I keep doing red looks. I got a fixation on red eyeshadow, I guess. But other than that, it was a very relaxing weekend. Just hanging out on the porch. Okay, and I think on the little inner part, maybe just right in here, we'll take this more golden shade and pop that on. That I'm gonna apply with a little brush. Man, I can't believe it. Nobody told me how good Hannibal was. Jeez. I'm missing out. Okay, yeah, this will bring a little warmth in. A little more. There. Oh, yeah, like that. And this is like one of those looks that makes blue eyes look blue. We'll just use a little bit of the black eyeshadow from this palette and do like a little wing with it on an angled brush. I have to get kind of close to see what the heck I'm doing. Just get a little definition around the lashes. And I'm just kind of patting it on, like pressing it just into the lash line. A little baby wing just to give a little bit of lift. All right, now I'm gonna clamp this fell out and we'll come back and do the lower lash line and move on to some more fun products. Okay, fallout is cleaned up and cleaned up the wing a little bit, all that. So next product I want to go in with, which is new to me. This is actually an older product I think has been out quite a long time. It's just kind of had a little resurgence lately, and I've seen a few people talking about it and it sounded absolutely amazing, and I'm like, why haven't I heard of this? But this is the L'Oreal Magic Perfecting Base Face Primer Studio Secrets, whatever. It is almost akin to the putty primer, but I think this one is far more effective. I just tested it out just on bare skin the other day and it was like, whoa. It's Facetune in a little tub basically. So I'm just gonna take a little bit on my finger. You don't need much. Just dab in there. This is the first time I'm actually gonna use it under makeup though, so we're gonna see how it looks. But this is a very like thick, moussey formula, and just gonna rub it in or kind of press it into all the areas where I have pores, fine lines, which is what this is supposed to smooth out and fill, and it does. I just don't know how it wears underneath makeup yet. It creates a very nice matte feeling finish. So I'm just kind of pushing it in right here where I have, you know, pores or whatever. Now I have issue with pores more around my brow area, forehead, not so much in here, but here and here, and it's more like acne scarring kind of a thing, not necessarily pores, but to me that's where I have the most texture issues. So I'm gonna put it along here. I wouldn't say I have like necessarily like acneic skin, but I have very skin that gets congested very easily, and that's one of the reasons I don't like the e.l.f. pore putty. I feel like it clogs my pores so bad that it like looks like I have clogged pores when I wear it. Like I feel like it gets in them and just kind of puffs up almost. It's very bizarre, and I just don't like it. And I feel like it clogs my pores over time. Like after like 2 uses, I feel like I have texture and like blackheads, or just, you know, congested looking skin. That really is like a blurring filter for your skin. That's fantastic. And now for foundation, I also have something new. I got the Born to Glow foundation from NYX, which I've mentioned wanting to try for a little while now because I love the concealer so much. And it's weird that I've seen like some negative reviews of concealer. I'm like, what are you talking about? This shit's good. Anyway, I got the foundation. This is maybe a hair too deep for me, but it works. It's fine for summertime. I've got a little more color. This is the shade Porcelain. To me, it's not quite porcelain, but it's more of an ivory shade, I would call it. And yeah, this is supposed to have a radiant, naturally radiant finish. I'm hoping this will be like a dupe for the CoverGirl Vitalist that I love so much that is way too dark for me and I think discontinued. Like I've worn this one just applied with fingers and haven't really paid much attention to much about it. Like I've just kind of thrown it on a couple of days. I am going to be doing a foundation wear test of this one tomorrow, so I'm not going to get into too much detail about it today. I don't think it's quite as glowy as I was expecting, but it looks nice. And that primer, oh my god, it looks like I don't have any pores. Wow, incredible. And this being a radiant foundation sometimes can emphasize texture. I don't feel like this one does. It's not quite that radiant. Okay, that looks good. And now for concealer, I finally got my hands on the e.l.f. Camo Concealer in the radiant, or the hydrating camo concealer. And I found it in Fair Rose. Finally, this was very hard to find. I found it in Lake Charles. I have looked all over my city. It's not stocked anywhere, and like they don't even have like a space for this shade. And I'm gonna take just a couple dots because I know how the other camo concealer performs. I don't think the shade is dramatically deeper than the other Fair Rose. I would have to compare them side by side, but that was something that I heard pointed out, was that the shade range, the shades are not exactly the same across the board, that they tend to be a little bit deeper. I think that's a good color. That looks really nice. Its coverage looks good. I mean, we'll do a wear test with this in a couple of days and really review it and put it through the paces, but just right here on this little first impression of it, it is nice and I like it. I like the color. Again, this is my very first time using this one, so I don't have a formed opinion on it quite yet. The products like these, I would rather do a research review rather than just a first impression. I think that's fine with an eyeshadow palette and certain products, but when it comes to complexion products and stuff like that, I feel like you really want to research it before you review it and all that. Like I don't like first impressions personally. A foundation or something, unless it's like Taylor Wynn doing it, because she does research it beforehand and kind of, I don't know, her videos are very well thought out. She does first impressions or her foundation Fridays very, very well. I kind of try to take a page out of her book when it comes to reviewing foundations because I think she has an excellent kind of formula for going about it. It's a pretty good concealer on first impression. Again, I'll have a formed opinion and a decent review of that. Another product I haven't used a whole lot yet, but is still new to me and still in kind of the testing stages, is the number 7 loose powder. It's their loose translucent powder. I believe it is called the Translucent Perfect Light Loose Powder Hypoallergenic. Light diffusing powder blends evenly on the skin. Yeah, I just want to give it a go. So I'm just going to take a little bit on here. This has a little bit of a pinky cast undertone to it, so it won't pull yellow on me at least. I think it does darken my foundation concealer just a hair, but not that I would complain about it like other powders I've done. And it doesn't look yellow, so that's what I'm mostly happy about. I did take the sifter out because it was very hard to get product. But I feel like this is a very blurring powder. Very perfecting, beautiful formula. Just from the few times I've used it, I was impressed. I don't know how its longevity is and all of that. Kind of press it into the skin in my usual areas that get oily, which would be my chin, my cheeks, T-zone. Most of my chin, kind of this region, is my oiliest area, and around my mouth and my forehead gets a little bit. And I'm not baking or applying a ton of product. I'm knocking off the excess and just pressing in what's left on the sponge. This is such a finely milled product. Like it's probably one of the nicest setting powders I've gotten from the drugstore. It might have knocked my Maybelline Fit Me Loose setting powder down a notch. It's that good. I think it blurs a little more and it doesn't look quite as heavy on the skin. That looks freaking good. I like that a lot. Just to kind of buff all over the face real quick, I'm going to take the number 7 Lift and Illuminate Triple Action Translucent Powder in light, just as a bit, just to really kind of set over here lightly for contour and powder and all that. To kind of knock off any excess of the other, just so everything's set. Okay, next I have a contour powder. This is the Essence Contour Duo in light. I like the shades in this. I thought they looked really, really good for fair skin. And I'm always on the quest to dupe my Kat Von D, or my KVD Beauty Shade and Light contour palette. If I can dupe it from the drugstore, it's even better. So these looked pretty nice to me, like right in my, it's not super gray, it is, I wouldn't say it's necessarily a taupe, it's just a soft, cool tone brown. So we take a little bit of this. Ooh, she dusty. Oh my goodness. That is a lot of kick up. Make sure I don't pick up too much. I don't know how the pigmentation is on this. I'm just gonna kind of get through the hollows of the cheeks and see how it looks. I usually skip this step on camera just because I usually use the same products over and over. Usually it's either the KVD stuff or something from NYX. I don't change up my contour. Once I find one I like, I kind of stick with it. I want to try the Fenty Cream Bronzer. They have one in Amber, which is like a very neutral kind of cool tone. I think it would be really good. Because I do love a good cream contour too. Okay, that looks good. A little bit warm, but with this look, I think that's fine. Is it depending on my eyeshadow, like what I'm going for, I may go a little bit cooler, a little more neutral. I just don't want it to look orange, you know what I mean? I don't want it to look like a bronzer ever. A lot of times the fair contours pull orange or pink, and it's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for truly a neutral shadow looking color, but not super gray always. So, there's a time and place for the gray. I do like that, especially for evening looks or something dramatic. But this might be a good everyday contour shade, as I love contour. Well, lately I've been kind of skipping out on it and just doing blush and bronzer, but it's a favorite part of makeup to me. This was a very affordable little palette, by the way, but very dusty. There's so much kick up. I'm just kind of lightly tapping that around the tip of my nose just to bring some definition right there. So not necessarily contouring my nose to look smaller, I just like the definition. I tend to have a pretty defined nose as it is, but I don't know, I like to bring out that at the tip. And then I'll knock off most excess and kind of go right here and kind of let it marry up into the eyeshadow to my brow and just let it flow down just a little bit. If you like a full contour routine video with including cream contour, like how I do my super glam kind of contour, let me know in the comments. I would be down to do that. Let's go ahead and tackle that lower lash line real quick while we're at it. And I'm going to go back into that warm brown shade we used in the transition. load it on one side, knock off excess, and just kind of dust it along. My eyes are feeling a little watery today. They've been watery the last couple of days. I hate doing that. I accidentally get like my skincare or something in my eyes, and it irritates the shit out of them when I wake up in the morning. Okay, just let that kind of merge into the lash line. My eyes kind of watering over here, so let's just ignore that. And I'm gonna take a little bit of a more concentrated, smaller brush. Then I'm gonna take the warmer brown, or the deeper reddish brown, a little tighter, a little bit of that watermelon color, just right on this inner part. Just kind of pull that shade in just a little bit. I'm gonna take a little bit of the deepest brown, focus it on the outer corner, and let it kind of go into that wing. But just to kind of get that all blended together. And my biggest fluffy brush, no additional product rather, and just kind of make sure everything is blended all the way to like the bridge of the nose. Just so there's a flow and cohesiveness around the eye area. Let's move on to highlighter. I'm gonna use, oh no, wait. On the inner corner, I'm gonna take the highlighter shade from this palette in the center here. It is called Certified Platinum. This is a beautiful gold that's soft enough that I can get away with wearing it without getting a weird gold cast, but when you build it up on the inner corner, it really has a nice pop to it. But apply a little more sheer to the cheeks and it looks great, I think. It doesn't have that shadow issue I usually have with golden warmer highlights like that. I'm always trying to find that one that's still warm but not too deep. It's a little bit of a challenge. This has a little bit of a peachy pink to it. It almost reminds me of Nara's Orgasm, but the opposite. Instead of it being pink to a gold shift, this is a gold to a pink shift. But see, it doesn't pull a shadow. Well, maybe a little bit, but not enough to be significant or to stop me from using it. It looks good. And now for blush, I'm going to jump to an old favorite. This blush I haven't used in forever. This is Dulce Pink from Milani in the baked highlighters. I mean, I can't remember the last time I used this. I think I bought this is one of the first baked highlighters I bought, or baked blushes from Milani that I ever bought, because I saw Vintage or Tacky or Core Diane speaking about it years ago. And I still have it, just been hanging on to it. Pretty similar to Nara's Orgasm, but not an exact dupe, but close enough. I like it a little better than Nara's Orgasm. So I'm just gonna kind of take it right here, let it mirror into the highlight. This has a lot of sheen to it as well, so it has that kind of built-in highlight. I use blushes like this a lot and I wonder why I have texture on my cheeks. It just has a nice pinky rosiness to it with the gold reflect in it. I mean, really, you could probably skip highlighter with this blush. Now let's do some mascara real quick. I got something new here too. This was a little point perk from Sephora. This is the Lancome Seals Booster XL. So we're gonna give that a try today. Heard so many good things about it. And I love a good lash primer. Thin coat, not gonna pile it on. Just make sure every lash has a little bit on there. Less is more with primers because you can get clumpy. I'm just gonna use my favorite little combo right now, which is Lash Princess from Essence. This is the False Lash Effect one, and then the Falsies Lash Lift. Well, I'll use Lash Lift first. Yeah, I think that primer does do a little something. It's pretty nice. I don't know if it's worth the amount it probably costs, because I think there's plenty of drugstore primers that are sufficient, but it is nice. I do like Lancome mascaras. I think they do really good mascaras. But that being said, the drugstore does fucking good mascara. Essence does good mascara. Yeah, we'll take our Lash Princess, and this is where the magic happens. This is also a very long wearing formula. Like, it's on there pretty good. It doesn't, I don't find it flakes or gets all over the place. It's not the easiest to remove at night for not being waterproof. Like, it's got some great staying power. And I'm just gonna take that over top of the other mascara, and it gives length and volume. This is beautiful on its own, but girl, if you layer it, it's like, oh yeah. I mean, look at those lashes. Damn, that's awesome. It's such a wonderful combo of those three. Oh yeah. Okay, lips. I have a few new lip products. A few. So I'm just going to show you real quick, but I think because, I mean, this shirt is so 90s, I know which one I want to use. I just want to show you my other options. So first we have the Milani Shoop lipstick that goes with the Salt Pepper collection. This is just a 90s brown, perfect chestnut shade. I also have gotten Pillow Talk from Charlotte Tilbury, which is beautiful. And I have two of these. This formula, so good. I have this in Smooth Caramel and Flirty Toffee. These are the matte crayons from L'Oreal. I was gonna go with the Shoop one, but I feel like caramel toffee would look really good with it. So that's what we will go with today. These lip liners, by the way, from Wet n Wild, they're retractable ones, are beautiful. So they're just a little twist up, kind of like the ColourPop Lippy Sticks, but the formula is good and very long wearing. I have a nice vanilla cake scent to them. And these are very matte, incredibly matte, like liquid lipstick matte. Earrings are on. This is the completed look. Oh, setting spray. I do have a new to me setting spray. I know this has been out forever. This is the Natural Finish from Wet n Wild. I've used a dewy one and I don't really like matte setting sprays, but I wanted something not super dewy like my e.l.f. and L'Oreal Lumi or my Milani Dewy. I needed something a little bit more tame that would just give it the powdery finish and lock things in pretty well. A little spritz of that and let that dry. Ooh, I like the fragrance. It smells nice. It kind of smells like hairspray, but I like it. Okay, and this is the look complete using a ton of new products. And yeah, thank you so much for hanging out with me and having a cup of coffee with me today. Let me know how things are going for you down in the comments, and is there any new products you're looking forward to with these drugstore spring launches and everything else. And that is all for today. Thank you again for hanging out, and I will see you guys in the next one. Stay spooky and stay safe. Bye now.